about controlling your portions. We talked about portion control last week, but we didn't come up with any how to do it. We just said, this is a cup of pasta, is 220 calories, and this is a tablespoon of peanut butter, no good. This is what I eat in peanut butter before I even get it on the sandwich. So I've already had, 100 calories just here. And really, it's not in this nice little tablespoon. It's off the sharp knife. So that's not, apparently I don't have any, issues with just licking off the knife. Might as well just have the blend, the mixer on and lick the frosting off. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so I was thinking about this, that we really need to have some things to go by, some guides to help us. And I've actually been giving you some much big props this week, and because you do this one, never eat from the box or the container or the, and you will actually take the crackers out of the container and put them in separate bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, serving sizes.
Yeah.
So it's not, because, if I buy a box of, those crackers you like, I eat the whole box. I can't even have them in the house. They're like red light food for me. But you managed to actually do that, right?
Well, I managed to, I don't take the container into the living room. If I want to have a snack, I will put it into a bowl or whatever. And then when it's gone, it's gone. It's like I don't want to have the box there because I will go crazy and eat the whole box.
And eat the whole box, yeah. Look, everybody's shaking their head, yes, that's me too, right?
Well, you lose track too when you eat out of the box.
Right,
You
exactly.
don't think you've eaten as much as you really have.
Please, I know when I'm having a sleeve of Ritz crackers, it's not, I'm just going to myself, what am I doing? Why did I do that? I mean, they're just not that good, let alone the amount of salt and
Right,
additives and, everything. I just, but we need to start looking at our portions. Eating out of the box or container, my husband asked me to get him a bowl of ice cream, and I said, no, I'm not getting you a bowl of ice cream. And he said, what? And I said, no, I'm not getting you, I can't get you a bowl of ice cream. Because by the time the ice cream goes in the bowl,
Mhm.
I have eaten a bowl of ice cream. Standing up. Not even enjoying, yes, that's right, not even enjoying it, which is really sad. And feeling guilty with every bite, which, wouldn't it have been smart if I just made myself a cup of ice cream and enjoyed it rather than had all that guilt and all that angst and ate it civilly, and is that right? Civilized, like a civilized person, instead of standing at a counter, eating out of the container while making his. I said, no, I can't. I simply cannot. I'm like a drug addict with food. I can't. Ice cream is. Anybody else have that happen to
I
them?
love ice cream.
Me too.
Me too. So one of the places up here, which I'm sure it's just a chemical storm, but they have no fat, no sugar, vanilla, and chocolate soft ice cream. And it's really delicious. It's made with skim milk.
Really?
It's tasty. It's really tasty. So, I mean, we can find, or, fudgesicles. You can find substitutes, but when they have, butter pecan in my freezer, Bob will buy butter pecan or something and put it in the freezer. I'm weak. I'm so weak. So let's not eat out of the box.
Okay.
Now, here's another story. How about if you keep healthy snack options handy, in sight? My worst time is when I'm cooking dinner. And if I have to test it, I used to eat wholemeal before dinner. Because right, I know everybody looks like they have
I do the same thing.
right? Here's the real problem. Let's say I'm making sauce. Like I haven't had my own sauce 1,000 times. I'm making sauce, but I don't test it with just a little teaspoon, you know what I mean? Just make sure it has some salt or pepper or whatever I'm putting in it. I'm actually taking a piece of bread, putting it in the sauce. So ridiculous. Putting it in the sauce, and then that's not good enough. I have to put Parmesan cheese on it.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's got to taste as if it's actually going on my plate. And I will do that 3 or 4 times. Till I get it is actually right. More than likely, I'm already full before I sit down. And I was at a friend's house a couple of weeks ago, and I was in her kitchen while, we were having a glass of wine, and she was making dinner, and I was helping her. I was making the salad, and we were going along. And, I am so Italian today.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I know.
Because you're talking about sauce.
I'm talking about sauce. Yeah, that's how you talk about sauce. Anyway, so she had made some things, and she was eating as she was doing it. And I was going, oh yeah, that is so me. And before she finished, it felt like I thought to myself, oh my gosh, that's almost a meal. Thankfully, what we were cooking together was so healthy that even if she had it, it didn't really matter. But the average person may be cooking something that wouldn't be as healthy. And so then it would make a difference. So what if you just had popcorn on your counter, or you had grapes, or you had cut up watermelon, and it's so delicious right now. Why wouldn't you have that cut in your refrigerator, if of course you like watermelon?
Love watermelon.
Love watermelon.
So refreshing.
So refreshing and so good. The very second you finish dinner, you should have a bite of watermelon. Get all that good flavor out of your mouth from the dinner, so you don't want more. But one of the things that the girls were telling me is that they've been making popcorn, and I like to put ranch dressing on mine, but they use taco seasoning and barbecue seasoning. I know. I'm thinking, does that taste like barbecue potato chips? Probably not. But,
No.
I have fooled myself with so many things in losing weight that wouldn't surprise me if I could fool myself with popcorn, thinking it tastes like barbecue potato chips. How I think I could do that, but. How about just for the week you try using the smaller plate? Can't we
Oh,
just
that's so
try to use the
important.
smaller plate? I mean, I know that I push this all the time, but it's so much better if you do that. You're just gonna think you have more food, and we like a full plate, don't we? I mean, there's no way around that. So I think, my friend who lost 100 pounds, she uses a small plate, small bowl, and she uses small utensils, like baby utensils.
Really?
Yeah, the fork is
Oh,
really
wow.
short, so you can't get too much food on it, but you could look like it's a lot of food. And she uses the baby spoon. But the thing about her that's completely different than with me is she doesn't need variety. Every day it's the same thing. She's had that weight off for 20 years. Every day it's the same thing. It's 100 pounds too. It's not a small amount of weight. She lost that and she's kept it off, and she lost weight many, many times. But that's one of the things that really helped her. Why wouldn't we try that?
Eating the same thing every day?
No, I could never do that,
Oh, I
Carol.
couldn't
Get
do it
out.
either.
I'll be, please. I
I'm
buy
too much of a foodie.
Yeah, I'm too. Yeah, I don't know that she's a really good cook, but she will eat the exact same things. But the thing about it is, she'll make it on Sunday, set it all up for the entire week of work, and have the same thing that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not, dinner's a little bit different, but not much different. I couldn't do that ever. You can cough.
Thank you.
Was that a sneeze or a cough?
It's a cough. It's allergies.
Oh, I know, these allergies are brutal, aren't they? Here's one of the things that, you know how if you work in an office, or you were a nurse, right? Okay. At the nurse's station or the teacher's lounge, you know how they are. They have all of that food.
Yeah. Especially at holidays when everybody brings in stuff.
Oh, they're
for the staff.
leftovers. Oh, my
right,
God.
right.
And where's the other place? At the Chamber of Commerce. It's a nightmare because every day is an event of some sort, so it's bagels, donuts, coffee cakes, sandwiches, potato salad, macaroni salad, but just the worst food ever. And so now it's there, and you feel like you should have some. I mean, just think of one bagel as 5 pieces of bread. Why would you ever have another bagel in your life? Just have 2 pieces of toast with butter on them. It'll be less calories than a bagel. And if they put cream cheese on it, now you're talking about something that could actually be 700 calories. That would never be worth it. And an hour after you eat it, you're going to fall asleep or be tired because it just turns to sugar in your body. It's not good for you. Maybe 1 bagel a year. It was absolutely imperative. But I can think of I'd rather have a good piece of Italian bread all day long. Anyway, and I'm going to give you a good example of how that works. When a friend of mine worked at McDonald's, and he was a manager at McDonald's, and you get to eat their food. You get to eat their food. Well, that's another story altogether. But he gained 40 pounds in a year, and it took him 3 years to lose that weight. 3. Because, it was free, it was cooked. I mean, I don't know how you would resist eating that food, really. Even me, who doesn't like fast food, if I was making it at a fast food place, I would probably be eating it. French fries, chicken fingers, even though I know God only knows what they're in them. I can't. I can't even imagine. How about let's leave the serving bowls on the kitchen counter instead of on the table? Are you even eating at the table? Or are you doing the worst thing? What's the worst thing you can do when you're eating?
Watch TV.
And what's the worst thing you could watch on TV when you're eating?
The news.
The news. One lady
We
says, "Well,
watch it every night."
I have dinner every night with I think she said Peter Jennings, but I don't even think he's on the air
No,
anymore.
he's not.
I think that was just whoever's doing it. And I said, "How can you watch the news and eat?" You know what the news would do for me if I watched it when I was eating? I would be going, "Oh, what the hell? Let me go get some more." The world is going to hell. So I might as well just have whatever the heck. Well, isn't it the truth?
It's true.
It's never like they're telling you
Anything good?
anything good. At the end of the broadcast, they give you one good thing that they give you 1 minute of good news.
You're
That is
right.
just ridiculous. So really honestly, we love to eat. Isn't that enough entertainment? It's enough entertainment for me. We love to eat. Isn't it one of our favorite things? It's at least in the top 5, if it's not number 1, right? So why don't we concentrate on the actual meal? No TV, no laptops, no book, no nothing, just the food. Do you sit at the table, or do you always have the news on? Yeah. No phone. No.
If I sat at the table, I'd be shoveling it down so I could get on to doing whatever I was doing.
Isn't that awful? Because I know you
is.
love your food.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. So why wouldn't we be concentrating on our food, since it's the thing we all love? This is the reason we're here, because we love food. So why would it be concentrating on that? I don't understand. I mean, I have a hard time not doing that myself, because I would end up eating alone a lot. But I think even having a book would be better. If you have a book and you actually say, "I'm going to read like half a page before I take another bite." And the other thing is, don't put food in your mouth when you have food in your mouth. I just keep telling you that. That's so important. If you knew what was going on in your mouth with that food, you would never put new food in with that old food. Oh my God, it's sickening. It's sickening.
True.
You know what? I have made myself, this is the one way I lost weight, is by making myself sick to things. Like, what am I sick of? What will I not go to?
Fast food.
Well, fast food for sure. What's the other thing? No buffets.
Oh, right.
After seeing the nurse put her hand into the
Yeah,
bowl of lettuce and
Ugh,
take it out,
disgusting.
no, I'm not eating at buffets ever again. If they will do it at a hospital, they're going to do it across the street at the
Yeah,
buffet.
exactly.
I saw like these like 7-year-olds running around grabbing things off the thing and putting them back, and I was like, yeah, I never have had a buffet since then, except for when you have to have one at a wedding or whatever. You know, it's a different story. But to go to a place that has a buffet, first of all, I have no control. I'm just going to eat totally out of control. So I say, let's focus on our meals, no TVs, no laptops, try to do the thing that, is the best. How about the best for you? Whatever you can do to slow down. It takes 30 minutes, right? 20 minutes for you to know when you're full or satisfied. So if that's the case, then we're going to have to eat a hell of a lot slower, because I could eat my dinner in 10 minutes, 7 minutes. Do you ever, if you're watching TV and you're eating, did you ever go like this on your plate and then go, what? It's empty. You didn't even know you ate.
Right.
What good is that? So what do you do at dinner?
We usually watch TV.
You watch TV? What about you, Jill?
Most times my husband and I sit at the table.
Oh, like real people, like grown-ups.
We do. And you'd be happy to know we leave the food on the island.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll make
we
our
do too.
plates and go sit at the table.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So
Yes.
that's good.
Well, you know what's the other problem with a lot of moms whose kids are, grown now? They cook like their kids are still home. That's a really bad thing. So now instead of cooking the 4 pork chops or 2 pork chops or, however it is that you like to split that up, they're still cooking like their 3 kids are home. So they're making 8 pork chops. Why would you do that? And then at the end of the week, don't you have to clean out your refrigerator and throw food away?
Throw it away.
That is the
exactly.
worst thing I could ever imagine. So we have to start to think about that. Why are we overcooking? Have you gotten to the point where you can cook just for the 2 of you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have now, yeah.
How about you, Linda? I don't know. Are your kids home, or
No, they're all gone now.
do you still cook like they're home?
I don't, actually.
Oh, that's very good.
And last night I made potatoes, and I was cutting them up, and I said, oh, 2 potatoes, that's all we need. It's just the 2 of us.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so glad I thought of that.
Yeah. Because really,
There you go,
honestly,
right.
it saves you money. It saves you time. It saves you the work to just cook for 2.
Right.
And the only reason why you should cook more is if you plan on freezing it, or you're going to make another plate immediately while you're making your plate and cover it and put it in the refrigerator. Because to go back for seconds, that has helped. One lady has lost 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks, strictly from changing from cooking for the whole family like they still
That's
at home.
wonderful.
Right? See, sometimes it just takes one thing for you to start to get through your head. That one of the things that I actually learned was that I could have really, really, really tasty food, but it would be still healthy. What is the one thing you learned? Do you have any idea? What's the one thing that you know now that you didn't know?
That simply changing from processed foods to whole foods, you lose weight, even if you don't reduce the quantity.
Even if you don't, yes, if you change, what she said is if you change, nope, you shouldn't be eating any processed food.
Right.
You really shouldn't. Like that rice dish, it's like 220 calories for a half a cup. It's
Right.
a lot of calories, and how much salt do you think it's in it? And
Yeah,
then you
that's-
don't even know what the chemicals
That's the
are.
trouble. To give you an example, when I used to go to Weight Watchers,
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be really good. I was going to remember when they used to sell the food.
yeah.
I'm going to buy their food. I was so mad. I went the following week. I gained weight because all the salt and the process. And I said, "Oh, I'm eating Weight Watcher food. And I'm gaining weight because too much salt."
Well,
in the
that's true of
processed
any
food,
one
yeah,
of those
yeah.
those diet dinners. Why would we ever eat those diet dinners? They're
That's why I
loaded
said too
with
much
junk.
Sodium.
Yeah, they
So
really
much
are.
sodium. I think I said this last time. We had a half a cup, which is this much, not much, had 880 milligrams of salt in a half a cup of chicken noodle soup.
Bad.
That is not a lot of
crazy.
soup.
No.
So, that's a good thing. So, you not only want it to be nutritious, but it has to be healthy.
Right.
Just because it's low in calories doesn't
That
mean
doesn't
it's
mean-
healthy. No, absolutely not. And that's just processed food. That all that Weight
Right.
Watchers,
Right.
all lean cuisines, all of them, they're just
Yeah.
processed food, and they're
Exactly.
not enough food for me.
No.
No.
When I used to eat them, I would always make a vegetable,
Mhm.
and like I would have like steamed broccoli and add that to the dinner, and that at least gave it some. When you want to add, I want my whole plate almost to have vegetables on it. So I think it makes a difference. Here's the other thing: how to stop eating. If you didn't overcook, it's easier to stop eating. That's for sure. But let's say you've decided. Now, one of the ladies who she says, in fact, she was here earlier. She says what she'll do is she makes 2 pieces of salmon, and then she'll go back because the salmon was so delicious, and the salmon's supposed to be for the next night's dinner. So she'll keep going back, and she'll keep taking a little piece, and before you know it, she's got this much salmon left, which is not enough, and she goes, oh, well, what does she do then?
She finishes it.
it off. Now, if you think about salmon,
Excuse me.
salmon is 274 calories for 4 ounces, like the size of a checkbook, okay? If you ate 2 of those, now you have almost 600 calories in salmon. At least it's something good for you. It's not like 600 calories in rice. But it's still 600 calories, let alone what else you had. Like if you had a sweet potato and, sweet potato could be 200 calories. Your meal could be 800 plus whatever. If you had salad, who knows what else you're having with it. So you have to really be diligent, especially during the week. On the weekends, I know you say that you can't do that, but I can do that on the weekends. But I'm really, really careful during the week. I'm really putting the best effort I can into it. So I don't know what's happening there because I know you're not a drinker, and is it desserts or?
I really can't figure it out. I've kept track of the food and everything, and if I eat anything that's out of the healthy range, I gain. And I gain, if I go out one night, I gain 2 pounds. If I do a whole weekend, at the end of the weekend, I gain 3
Okay,
pounds.
but what
and
happens?
it stays on.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't come off in 3 days, so
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So you're just gonna, I guess, have to be more careful. But believe me, I think honestly, and I'm not kidding, maintenance is easier than losing weight. I'm completely convinced of it now. It's 11 years, and I have no special powers, believe me. But you know what? 5 pounds is success. If you know when you gain 5 pounds that you should lose it immediately and start working immediately to get that off once you're at maintenance.
Well, I was going to say one thing too is I've done absolutely no exercise in like the last 3 weeks, nothing, so I'm sure that has something to do with it too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you a quick story. On Friday, I've been really working out like an idiot, harder than usual, and I blew my back out on Friday. And normally, what would happen which hasn't happened in years, and normally what would happen, I would not be able to walk right or anything. I mean, I thought I was going to be sick that day, and I left and I went home and I iced my back, and the next day my back was at least 85% better, and the
Really?
next day 90,
Good. Wow.
and I went to the gym, perfect back as quick as you could imagine. And why do you think that is? That I would rebound like
Your
that?
body's in
Because
shape.
Because
yeah,
my body's
right.
in shape.
From exercise.
It was the biggest stunner to me. I was like going, oh no, what will happen if I don't get to go to the gym? I was all of a sudden feeling very, very insecure, and I know that I have to work out. I know that, but when I woke up the next day, I was like, oh my goodness, this is pretty good. And the
That's
next
great.
day, even better. I was like, oh my, I would be before I lost 93 pounds, I would be in therapy for 3 weeks, like at the chiropractors a couple of times a week. So when I would ever get that sciatica problem, not this time. Now, of course, next week I won't be able to walk at all just because I'm talking about it. So I hesitate. I hesitate to say this. Okay, they say brush your teeth after you eat.
That's
You
a
know,
good
so
one.
you get that good flavor out. Now, I go through a whole ritual, you know, with a water pick and everything, so I don't want to do that then. So I'll just throw a mint in my mouth. Do you have any ways of stopping yourself from eating any more food besides it not being there?
I have to get up and walk away from the table.
Yeah.
I just have to get up. My husband clears the table for me and puts the dishes in the dishwasher.
Oh, that's perfect.
that's
So
good.
there's no
So I just go and sit down in a living room couch and try to get involved in something on television.
something off of food. And then the last thing is, you know,